Okay, here we go. So today we are going to talk about like so every Saturday like discussions on the Python untold libraries. That means there are so many libraries are there in the Python. So we are going to discuss every Friday, every Saturday, new libraries with the actual scripts. How actually those libraries is actually works in the real-time projects. So that is what our focus point on every Saturday. So we need to learn each and every library, which is very useful for the automation projects and all. That's what all the agenda is. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about one of the most important file handling, automation file handling library is called the Watchdog. And there are so many are there, but this is also like one of the most popular one. The people used to write code by using this Watchdog module. Okay. So what is this all about? Assume that we have a case like many times a file needed to be processed at the time of its creation. Okay. And if any modifications are happening to that file, if you want to know, okay, but from the particular directory, then we can go for the Watchdog. Okay. So what is this all about? This is the API which we can use it for like handling the file system. That it will create some events. So based on the events, if there is any action is happening in that particular folder or the file system, we will come to know. For example, there is a folder called test folder. In the folder, someone is created some 2 or 3 files. If you want to monitor those files and like who created that files, when it is created, how many files are created, all this information by default, it will give it to you. Okay. So every time that event will be run, every 1 minute or 2 seconds, 3 minutes, you can set the timer also. When you set the timer, every 1 minute, it will check if there is any new file is created or new folder is created or someone is updated the file. All this information will give it to us by using this Watchdog. This is very powerful tool, which is we can use it to implement this one. Okay. And interesting point is that this Watchdog supports the older versions of Python as well. That's called 2.7. But of course, no one is using the 2 version nowadays. Very limited. Only 1 or 2 companies are using 2 version. It is already decommissioned. Okay. Now, so here in this case, the Python Watchdog, this is going to be support, right? Like 3.4 version. This supports a lot, right? So here, this is supporting the Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, and other dependency versions also it is going to be supported. Okay, so I'm going to show you that one some code you can understand how it is going to be work. And only one thing you have to do it is you have to install this library in your local. The pip install Watchdog. It's enough. No need of any extra code, nothing. So just install the Watchdog. Any version above the Python 3.5 is actually, I can suggest you that. Okay, even 3.8 also it works because that is the latest version. We can work this one, any one of the latest versions of the Python. Okay, so very simple. I am going to execute the code because practical sessions are most important, right? So let's go to the code and we'll see that. Before that, I'm going to show you the documentation, which is really helpful to you. The documentation is already there. Okay, just you can go to the Google, type something called Watchdog. Okay, and so already I done with something. You click on Watchdog, and when you get something different things will come. So you have to type Watchdog space Python. So only Python related library will come. So first one is, it will show you that the list of all the Watchdog information. But first one is this pip install Watchdog is there. We can install it. Okay, and also there is something called documentation. Okay, you can also use this documentation, which is very clear. It is self-explanatory. You can use it. So you see, this Watchdog is mainly for API library and has the shell utilities to monitor the file system events, right? So it supports all the cross platforms, including the Windows and everything, right? And how to install, easy installation like pip install Watchdog. We can go to this. And if you are using the different versions of the Python, specifically you have to mention the pip3 install Watchdog. So there are many ways we can installation can be done. Even you can use the code repository that's called like directly you can use the GitHub. In the GitHub also this code is there. You can directly go to the clone that link and install it in your local. Okay, if you want to do that such a way that if you are using the Linux system also, we can installation can be done. And Windows is the most preferred way is the pip installation. We can do it. Okay, different ways we can do installation. But remember here, when you are installing the like Watchdog in the different on Mac OS and all, if you want to do it in the without the pip install pip command, we have other options called homebrew, and these things you have to be installed before that. Okay, but simple installation is the pip3, and we can easily install it that one. Okay, so let's see this what is the coding. Okay, how the coding works. Okay, let's go to the user guide. Yes, there is something called simple example, right? So if you could look at this simple example here, what things we are actually need. Of course, to monitor this, to monitor the directory, we need Watchdog. At the same time, we need events also. One more important thing of this Watchdog is when someone is talking about Python design systems. Okay, so this question comes in interviews also, right? People ask you like, what are the design systems are there in the Python? There are so many design systems are there. For example, factory design patterns, and one more is like this one, observation design patterns and all. So Watchdog comes under the observation design pattern. Design patterns are very powerful. Every language does. Even Python also having the design patterns. So this Watchdog follows the observation design patterns. So every observer will have the event. It will look if there is any changes are there in the directory, it will show that. Okay, so events, observes are very important, and logging is one of the module which is there in the Python to track each and every action item. Okay, whatever it is happening with that based on the time. Okay, we are going to use this one. We'll see that I will show you that how is going to be work. And also there are different handlers are there, file handlers, logging handlers, all this information. We can have this one with the simple examples, then we'll get the more clarity on this. Okay, so I'm going to use the VS Code to start with this. So we'll see that I'm going to create a new folder here, say that Watchdog. Uh, Here in this, I'm going to create new file called demo Watchdog demo. So demo.example or demo.py. Okay, simple, right? Before going to do this, we need to install the what we can install here. We have to install the Watchdog by using the pip3 command. But for that, I'm going to create new environment. Okay, this one I'm deactivating. So I'm going to create a new environment here. Already I have the virtual environment is installed in my system. Okay, spelling is VIRTUAL env. I'm creating the new environment. This environment is, I can say that something like we are talking about untold Python libraries, right? So Python untold, I'm just mentioning like this. Okay, Python untold new environment I'm creating here. So let's create this. So once it is created, the new environment. Okay, once it is created the new environment, let it create it. It will take, okay, so it's created now. After that, I'm going to activate this environment, right? So once we created the environment, immediately step is we have to activate this environment. That is pretty easy, right? So source, and we can give it the whatever the environment you created here. I created the environment called Python untold. So Python untold / bin and / activate. I'm activating the environment. It is activated. Now I could see this one here. So in this environment, I'm going to install the package. So pip, and I'm using the 3 versions. So pip3 install, and the name of the library is called the Watchdog. Okay, let it go. Yes, it's successfully installed now in this environment. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take that demo code, which is there in the documentation part. You can also use the same thing. I'm going to copy this entire code. Okay, it's as simple as so, because already they are giving one sample code to use it. So I will go to this platform, Control C. Okay, we have all the code here, right? This code is very straightforward. In this code, we are using the watchdog.observes and watchdog events. I'm going to write another code that will give more clarity on this. First, let's try to run this code. What is going to happen? Okay, I'm executing this code now. Okay, nothing is happened, right? It is not showing anything. Okay, so you can create some file in this Watchdog folder. Okay, I'm going to create something like you can create something file test.py or let test.txt. I created. You can see some information is giving out. What is the information about this? It is telling about created the file called test.txt and modified directory is the Watchdog. So this is the directory which we created, which is actually modified it, right? So again, I'm going to change this file directory here, say that this is a test file for Watchdog. Okay, so after this, I'm going to do the command S, Control S. Even when I modified that, it is also tell us like which file is modified. So modified file is the watchdog slash text.txt. Again, I will do something like, I will create one more file called something dummy file. I will create some PDF file. So demo.pdf, okay. When I'm going to create file, it will tell us like there is a new file is created. Again, it is modified. So every minute, okay, every second, when there is any action is happening in this, so it will tell you that like what modifications are done. You can also enhance this application by using the adding the user information. So which user is created, when he is created, and what things he has done. This is very important when application goes to the production. If someone wants to monitor this one, this is very useful. Even in the DevOps projects also, if you want to use, okay, for monitoring purpose, any system, if you want to monitor, then we can go for this kind of application, okay. So I'm going to write one simple automation script, which is going to help you a lot. So for example, I have like two folders are there, as in that I'm going to show you now. So if you go to my system, in my system, actually I have the two folder, okay. The folder one is the test001 and folder 2 is test002, okay. So 1 and 2 folders are there, okay. So what I'm going to do, right, tomorrow I'm going to copy one folder or one file from the normal somewhere in the server. I will copy into this test001. Automatically whatever file is copied into this first folder will automatically be copied into the test002. I want to move files from the one folder to the another folder automatically without any manual intervention, right? That we can achieve by using this watchdog concept. So what is my task is, I have two folders. Tomorrow I will copy one file from, I will place one file into this test001. Automatically it will copy from this folder to test002. So moving file from one folder to the another folder, that is what our task is now. This can be done by using the watchdog. So let's see this. Before going to that, I'm going to show you something through the walkthrough of this documentation that will give more clarity. Tomorrow you can write your own code, okay. So if you go to the API references, here we'll have all the information about classes and functions, what they are using in this watchdog, okay. So especially you can see here something like file system movement, if any file is moving, or like a file modified event, or like file created event, okay, any directory is created event. All these kind of events is already predefined, okay. We have something called handlers. We can use these handlers, can be like, for example, on any event, on created, on deleted, on modified. For example, someone is trying to modify on the particular directory, we can go for the on modified. Okay, I'm going to use this one. On mode, okay, you can also call this this event, and it will, if any file is moving from directory to the renamed, then we can call this on mode, okay. These are very pretty straightforward event handlers. We can directly, we can use it, we can actually play that, okay, because very interesting this one, okay. I'm going to write very simple code. This our task is now to create a automation script which is going to copy the files from the one folder to the another folder by default, okay. So let me create something called file, file name is called the, okay, copying the files, right, or move files, okay, move files from one directory to the another directory. So move files.py, okay. So in this, what I'm going to use, right, I'm going to use all these concepts. Like if you go to the demo, I'm going to use all these the modules. So let me copy paste here. And after this, I will create one class. Okay. See, still, even though if I'm doing small changes also, this script is giving up because that script is running at the background. So it is always showing up at our end. But now I'm going to create new code, okay, which is going to show us like how Watchdog is going to work with the different aspects here. So very simple code I'm creating it now. So I'm taking simple one class. This is my customized class. Class name is called the handler, okay, or my handler, whatever it is, you can say that. So here I'm going to create like I'm going to export or import something called watchdog.events. So already events is there on the top. So instead of logging event, what I will do, right? I'm going to import something called file system handler. Okay, here it is. File system event handler. This is a super class which is going to be extended by my class. It's called nothing but inheritance. Okay, already Watchdog is giving one class. The class I'm going to use it in my system. Okay, like in my programming. So handler is my class which is extending the super class. Okay, so after this, I'm going to write here some method. What method I can write? Let's go to the documentation. If you see that, is there any document I can use it here? Here I can use something called, okay, unmodified. Okay, if any modifications happening to this my folder, I can use this. So unmodified, and self is always the first keyword. Any kind of concrete methods any instance methods you are writing, it should go with these. Self is the first keyword. Okay, self dot event. Okay, so after that we can write very simple code. So I will take any file, whichever the file is there in my directory, that's called file name. I will go with the OS. Okay, import OS. Okay, you can also take the import OS and OS dot and operating system dot list directories, whichever the directory which you are passing that. This list directory will take all the folders. So I will say that folder to track, whichever folder you are going to use it here. Okay, folder to track and colon. After this, so I will take all the source and that folder to track. Okay, I'm going to use this folder to track here, and this folder to track, and whichever the file is there. Currently I'm going to take the test file. Okay, we can also use the test files here, slash and plus and the file name. Okay, so file name we can take it here. The next one is we will use the new destination file, which file I want to move. Okay, this folder track is nothing but it is our source folder, and now I'm taking the destination folder. Okay, destination folder is like whichever file you want to move it from the source to the destination. Okay, so now I will create something called folder underscore destination. That is one is for the tracking, one is for the destination. So both the purpose we have created the two variables here. Okay, and slash, and we can use something called file name here, right? It's very simple because this file name only we can use. One is for the tracking, another one is for the destination. Okay, so pretty simple. Finally, if you want to rename of the any code, we can do it. For example, if you want to rename of the file, we can rename it os.rename and src comma, and we can use the new destination, right? If it is also can be renamed. Okay, but what I'm going to do here, I created one class. This class is extending the file system event handler. So in that I created one event. This event is actually like predefined event. That means I'm overriding the event from this file system event handler. So what it will do, right? If any modifications, if anything is happening in this file system, so it will update, it will create it. So what action I'm doing it? I'm going to read all the files from the source folder. Those source folder files I'm moving into the new destination. Okay, that's what I'm doing the job here. But this should go with the automation script. So for that, what I will do, right? This folder track object I will create. I will give you the path here. This path is for the source path. Okay, the another one is like a destination path. Also we can give here. So that is called destination path. So I will specify the destination path in my system, and as well as okay. we can say that this is a new destination, or like to, for easy to understand that, we can put something called the folder destination. Okay, folder destination, and some path will provide it. And after that, what we can do, right? We have to create two objects. One is for the handler, one is for the observer. Okay, one is for the handler and one is for the observer. So I'm creating the object for, first of all, observer, then is for the handler. So I'm creating an object for these classes. So what is the observer I'm going to create here? So let's create a very simple one. Observer, small keywords, small word only. I'm giving the variable name. It's called the object. I'm creating an object here. Again, I'm creating the object for the file system event handler. Okay, so let's create this one. This, I will say something called event handler. Okay, so that will be very easy to remember. Event underscore handler, right? So one is for the event handler, one is for the observer. So observer will check that if there is any action is happening or not. So event will be always triggered, right? Based on that only. If the event is stopped, observer will not work at all. So last one is we need to schedule this observe, like how much time and all. Okay, so I'm scheduling the observe. We have the schedule function. In the schedule function, basically it will take the three parameters. One is the handler, whichever the handler object we created. So let me take it with the underscore, then we can easily copy it. Okay, so event handler comma, the next one is the which folder you want to track. Okay, already we have the folder name called the folder to track. That folder only we need to track all the time. This event handler is going to be track this folder every time, and or like how many times it should be tracked. So there is something called recursive function. We are going to use it internally. So recursively is going to be called, and output will be displayed. Okay, so if you want to start the observer, we can say that observer dot start. If you want to stop also, we can stop it, but as of now we are going for the start function. So before that, we have to write very simple code. So this is going to tell us like how much time you want to how much time is required to monitor. Is it every 10 seconds or 15 seconds or like 1 minute, 20 minutes, or like every day? So you want to monitor that code, we are going to write it now. So that we can keep it into the try block, because exceptions sometimes it may occur. So I will say that while true, and in between we can say that time dot sleep. So I want to time is already there, import time. So we can use that time dot sleep here. So I will ask this one to for 10 seconds, because that's what value we can provide here in the sleep, and 10 seconds. And after that, if there is any exceptions, by default, if we enter the keyword, basically there is these exceptions like uninterruptedly you trying this, but suddenly you enter the keyboard, that will create an issue. Mostly this is not the issue happens in the real-time servers, but it happens only in your local system. So that's why reason I'm taking the keyboard input error, keyboard interrupt error. It is called one of the exception. We can throw this exception. So when this is exception comes, so immediately what will happen, right? You will ask observer to the stop, right? Something you are trying to interrupt, so observer will stop monitoring it, right? So that's something we can say that. But finally, like so this, since you are returning in the sleep method and all, we have to use the, this is called threading. We are actually using the multi-threading concept here. So the threading is works like this. Finally, we can say that join method, which is going to join the multiple threads. Okay, so do you know here what kind of concepts we are using in this programming? You know, the first one is like design pattern is like observation design pattern. This is called very important design pattern, which we are using it here. And the second important thing is we are using something called logging. We are using something called time module. And one more important thing is like multi-threading concepts. Okay, yeah, multiple threads works in the real-time servers. It is going to monitor all the things, right? Okay, fine. I want to track the files, and for this track and destination, this is nothing but source folder and this destination folder. I have to provide the path here. Okay, let's go to the like whichever the file I created the path. Okay, so this is the one test 001 which I created. Basically, it is there in my system, and okay, so let me go back to this. I created this one into the one of my paths, so I'm going to copy that path here. So simply like You can also do the same programming in your Windows system also. I'm going to write now. Okay, users slash, so this is there in the path. I will take the path from this, copy the path. Okay, don't, okay, I'm copying the path. I don't want all this information. Okay, you can create anywhere in your system. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm creating in the separate way I created. I'm giving that path information itself. Okay, so test of 001 is one folder. The another folder is as test 002. Okay, so yeah, this is two folders. Okay, see how you observed or not, this watchdog is monitor every time this modified file I created previously, one Python file demo.py. It is actually keep on monitoring the what I am doing in this directory. That's interesting, right? Okay, let's go to the work on. I'm going to stop this, I mean clear this one, and we are going to execute this move files, not the demo.py. We'll see that if there is any issues in this case, then we'll fix it. Let me execute the code. Okay, absolutely no errors. Okay, no errors, but we want to try this one whether this is working or not. Our job is like we will place one file into this folder track. This is the source folder. We will place one file here that should be automatically copied into this destination folder. That's what our task is. That's what is automation. Okay, let me go to this, and I have some files here in this one of the directory. It is not like it is different directory. I'm going to place these files before that. So let me minimize this. I want to show everything now. Okay, okay, this is the two folders. Okay, so this one anyway, you can close this. Okay, I have now, so you can see on my system test 01, test 002. Okay, two folders are there. I'm using that one more directory here. Okay, I'm going to place this test.py. Okay, something is not working. It should come automatically here. It's not working. Let me go and fix the issue. So what is this? What is happening here? We are giving the file name, and that should be monitor, right? We want to call the events here. So we'll check one by one what is happening with this code. We are using the folder to track. That folder to track, we are passing it here because this is what the schedule will be there. The scheduler will have the event handler. This event handler is calling the file system event handler itself. And okay, we are tracking up, right? Event handler is there, folder to track, recurse is equal to true. I think this is fine. Observe is equal to start, and fine, this is there. And the folder to start is there. Exactly, we are giving the same. Okay, 001, 002, and basically like, okay, is there any spelling mistake? Folder destination, we have it slash file name, folder to track slash file name. This is also fine. For the file name in the os.list directory, and whichever the folder you are giving the input, that will break down the file system. Okay, that will break down the file system. Okay, it looks like our code is going very well here. But we'll try to put some like print statements that will give some idea. The print of, so watchdog starts, right? Okay, we can say this, and print of after the start. Okay, we can put this statement here, and while true sleep, and we can also use the print statement. Okay, this is in the like timer. We are using it here, and all is good. So here source folder to track is there, and plus slash file name, and new destination folder destination. I think it's correct only, like folder destination we are giving. Okay, so this folder destination is the same name we are giving. Yes, the same name we are giving up, because these names should be matched with these names here. The folder to track, this we are giving up, and folder destination is also matching up, and it will create this names here, file name slash file name. This is fine now. Okay, so let's try to execute again. We'll see that's what is happening here. Okay, So we are not actually like getting any output here in the handler. Let's see this, whether this handler is being called or not. Okay. I'm trying to debug the code. Close this, execute this code. Handler is called, watchdog is starts, watchdog is after the start. Okay, fine. This all is going little very well. And actually it is calling this one. The only thing is that when I'm placing the file, it's not moving this one. Okay, 001. I want to check the folder names. That works basically. Okay. So not this one, guys. Okay. It's not copying, right? Simple code, something is missing up. Is that the same directories I'm looking forward? 1 second, guys. It should work because I use it in many of the projects. I use the same script. It works very well. Let's try to fix it. For file name, in the same file name, we are using it here to copy the file, and we are calling the event. Event is so meanwhile, if anybody have any questions, you can ask me. I will explain it. Okay, this timer is running every minute. You know, I am keeping this timer every 10 seconds. It will work. Okay, it will keep on monitoring the code. The timer will go and execute this. If anybody have any questions, meantime, you can ask me directly, so I may answer your questions. I'm now checking the code. Little changes are required. I'm checking the code. Any questions from your end? I'm taking the superclass here instead of the subclass. I will take the superclass. So file handler also will take, but we'll see this. Maybe this is an issue. We can change it. Superclass. Okay, find this. I'm going to. Yes, that is an issue. It's always good to have the errors. We can fix it. So what is the issue, you know, guys? Actually, I'm using this handler is the class. Okay. So, but I was trying to using this file system event handler. Better always create object for the superclass. Handler is the superclass. You create object for that object reference that will be work. You can see amazingly like these files are there, right? So for example, I'm copying these files here. You can see now the demo. I'm going to place one file in this 001. Automatically it will show into the 002, right? That's amazing, right? So I'm going to keep one file. Automatically it will come here. It will move from there. Directly it will move from there. Not even one copy. If you want to keep the copy, then simple code is required. We can change it. See, amazing this one is. This is working. You can also automate this one by default with the actual scheduler in your server system. It works. Okay. Every time whenever you keep the files in this test 001, that will move into the different folder. This is useful actually when you are working on the real-time projects. So let's go to the code and we'll see what is happening. What is the logic behind this? This line number 15 is the logic. Line number 15 is the logic. We're actually renaming this. We are sending this. We are taking the source folder and destination folder, and we are passing to this rename. We're actually doing this one. Right, every minute it will follow. Not only like text files. For example, I'm keeping something called this folder. I'm changing this folder to this also will be moved to this one. Anything, okay, anything, it will be taken. For example, I'm placing all these folders here. See all these folders. Let me take it the control A. Okay, control A, moving here. Okay, you can see this automatically. This is coming up. Amazing, right? So this is one of the important job we can automate from the like Watchdog. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, I'm getting keep on questions now. I got one question from Ravi. He's asking, does it copy one file at a time or multiple files? I just shown the demo, right? I just shown the demo. So we are getting the multiple files. Absolutely, it works with the multiple files. How to change the timer? How to change the timer? So I did not get your question. Okay, let me try to understand how to change the timer. Timer is here. Sleep is 10 is there. If you want to change it to the 20 seconds or like 60 seconds, 60 seconds is nothing, 1 minute, it will monitor now. But if you have to stop the server and run the server, when you do any changes in this file, you have to start the server and run the server, it can work. So timer is like this. See, if you are not using this simple while true time dot sleep, it doesn't make any sense. Basically, like you have to use this some timer that only will be monitored each and every time. But right now I put the 60 seconds. It will take 1 minute to update this message. 1 minute to it will take to update this message, right? So actually the sleep method will take the seconds. So we have to provide the seconds. It depends on the project how we use. One more important thing, if you are not giving the recursive is equal to true, it will take only one time. Only one time it will copy and paste. Okay, if you want to do multiple times, then you give the recursive is equal to true, then it works for the, because that function will be called multiple times, guys. Multiple times that is going to be called. That's how it works. Very simple. This code is very simple. You can also write without doing copy paste also, because nothing. We are having the source folder and destination folder, and after that you have the observer and handler. So you create objects for this observer and handler. For that, you have to import the observer from the watchdog.observers. There are so many observers are there. Okay, control enter. You can see something called like unsupported libraries. So many things are there. Okay, there are so many event handlers also there. Controller, file system, mode event handler, and file modified event, delete event, create event. If you are specific to the any job, you can also import this one. And this is very interesting way we can do it. Whatever the, like some people do, like they want to rename the files. Okay, right now what I am doing it here, I just placing the files here. Okay, I'm just placing the files and just simply copy paste is doing. I don't want to simple like moving the files from the one to the another folder. I want to rename the file also. That is also can be done. Assume that tomorrow one file is created in the server logs. Okay, mainly this we can use for the server logs. There is a log file is created. You want to rename it like 001 dot some txt file, log 002 dot txt another file. So you can basically rename the file. I have that script. I will also share with you later. I will keep this data into the YouTube description link. You can take this copy code. You can work on it by your own. A lot of automation scripts we can develop by using the Watchdog. Okay, so this is very interesting. I'm going to take the questions from you guys. I think keep on, the questions are coming up. So let me take the questions. Okay. Question number one, how to change the timer? I already answered. Does it copy one file at a time or on multiple files also possible? That is we already done. Is it copy has to be initiated from the watchdog directory, or it will work from if you copy files directly into the test 001? Okay, so it is actually like we are telling to take the files from the folder to track. This is the concept. Okay, we are giving, this is the input. So this is where if you give the files, then only it will copy, because here is the logic is reading the files from the folder to track. So it is a for loop, because if you place 10 files into this folder, it is a listing the directory, how many files are there in that directory. All these files will read one by one, and it will place into the destination folder. The logic actually we are doing it here, but this go on the unmodified event. This is a predefined event under the file system handler class. We are using it here to do that. So that is what is the observer.join will do. Yeah, so the join is it's something like you are working on the when you create the timer, right? When you're actually like a timer is that, timer is nothing but sleep method. Okay, when you have 2 threads, 3 threads, if you want to join, you have to join, right? How to join the 2 threads? You have to use the join method. So observer internally uses the threading concept for the each and every execution. So it works on the multi-threading concepts. Okay, so that time when there is a first new thread is creating, those threads will be added to that instances. So that's where is actually join method can be used. I got one more question. This can be one of the production use case with the public folders files will be moved to secured logs, and will the watchdog perform the action on the sub? Excellent question. So this guy, I mean the Ravi is asking very important question. Actually, which is a very important use case. What question is asking? Will the watchdog perform the action on the subfolders in the source directory also? Absolutely, answer is yes. We can do it. We have I have the source code also. I will share with you guys. In the subfolders also, it will monitor. If you give the parent folder, parent directory, it also checks the subfolders also. It will do that monitoring this. Amazing. It will do all the job. And whatever the use case you are mentioned, that is a perfect use case. We can use it for the Watchdog as well. Any other questions from anyone? So Watchdog works for the subfolders also. Okay. Any other questions? Any questions from anyone? Okay, I'm getting one more question here. Hope we no need to put this scheduler like cron top, correct? Yeah, nowadays I'm going to take one more session on the actual. There is a free schedulers are there. One of the best scheduler we can say that Celery. I'm going to explain that one in the next upcoming sessions. Celery is one of the most important thing which will like monitor the job. It is open source. There is no any cost is involved. So right now I'm clicking on this Python button, right? So we can use the Celery. Okay, automatically, like if you schedule the time, automatically to only check the time, it will work. Okay, so we don't need any cron jobs here. When you are moving into the Python, we don't really depending on these kind of third-party tools. So can we put any limitations or exceptions of watchdogs like specific file types not to the copy move file? Yes, but there is no any predefined method, but you have to write your own code. We can restrict the limit. We can restrict the moving the files and all. For example, I don't want to move the files more than there are already 10 files are moved in a day. If you don't want to move more than 10 files, yes, that is the logic should go based on like your requirement, that you have to write your own Python code, like restricting the event. Event is working now just like that. If you want to put any conditions on conditional events, we can write conditions. Just you can go to this event should be called. Actually, where I'm calling the event, here I'm calling the event. You have to write if condition here. So there is on condition only it will be called. So that is your task, like and based on which requirement you are moving to that. Okay. So any other questions? I think interesting questions I'm receiving now. Any other questions, guys? You try this one. It is really exploring. You can explore this one, which is a very important thing of this watchdog. It works in the Unix systems. It works on the Linux systems. Currently, I tried in my Mac OS. You can also try in Windows systems. It works perfectly, right? So in the future sessions, I will take something like a completely automated task that you don't need to anything. One time you can make server app. Second time it will work automatically. So those scripts we'll see in the future sessions, like next Saturday or something like that. We can work on it. That's where we will also like will understand complete automation. Right now it is a partially automation script. I want to make it as a complete automation scripts by using this, that we can check in the future sessions. Okay. Any questions? Okay, I got one more question. Is it possible to make this code like binary instead of .py file? Absolutely. We can make it as a .exe file also. You can also make it as a .exe file, or else we can create wheel files. We can do it. Okay. I got one question. How to stop the timer? Okay. How to stop the timer? As of now, here only one thing I'm giving, that's called Control C. Okay, Control C. Right now, sorry, Command C in my system, or in your system Control C. But you can write your own code. Right now I'm giving the keyboard interpreter. This is nothing but by using the keyboard I am saying the Control C. That is the reason it is stopping up. Okay, but you can also write your own logic here instead of keyboard interpreter or something like say that some timer. You can also fix it. Some logic you have to write. You have to raise an exception. You have to raise an exception. If you have any specific condition, you have to write it. But right now, my condition here, when the person is do the Control C, the keyboard interpreter will be called, then the timer will be stopped. Okay, timer will be stopped. So what I have done, comma should be removed. Any questions? Okay, shared a few suggestions with you. Okay, I will check that one. Okay. Hope so. Any questions? I'm going to receive it. Hope you like this Watchdog module. Okay, you are going to use it in our daily projects. So make it this project in your in your production servers. Something if you are using it, you can try by your own. Okay. If no questions, we can stop now. And in the next dev sprint, tomorrow also we have the dev sprint. There we are going to talk about different concepts. But every Saturday we are going to discuss about the automation scripts, which is going to help you a lot. Whether you are from the different backgrounds also doesn't matter. These scripts is going to help you a lot. Whether you are data scientist or like a machine learning engineer, or you like a web developer or whatever it is. Okay. This script is going to help you a lot. Okay. Any questions, guys, from anyone? I'm going to take it up. No questions?